A few months ago, I was trying to watch a movie online when I got redirected to one of those aggressive gambling ads. And I'm not talking about a normal sports betting commercial. This one had a star licking a cricket ball while promoting a platform called 1xBet. At first, I laughed because it felt so absurd, but it also made me curious. Who are these people? Why are they advertising like this? And how does a company most people only associate with shady pop-up ads somehow end up sponsoring one of the biggest football clubs in the world? Once I started looking deeper into 1xBet, I found an entire underground system where thousands of matches are played every single day, and not for trophies, not for fans, but purely to give people something to bet on. Players who look exhausted, games that barely feel real, and a system where the outcomes may already be decided before kickoff. This isn't just gambling anymore. This is content designed for betting. 1xBet was founded in 2007 in Russia, later registered in Cyprus and licensed in Curacao. What started as a sports betting platform quickly expanded into casinos, slots, and global online gambling. Today, it's considered one of the most profitable gambling platforms in the world. But to understand how these betting farms emerged, you first have to understand gambling in Russia itself. Russia technically banned most forms of gambling, limiting them to specific gambling zones, designating areas that never really became popular. Sports betting, however, was treated differently. Over the past 5 years, sports betting has remained fully legal outside of those zones, and bookmakers reportedly increased their earnings more than 12-fold during that period. At the time, Russian authorities have even considered restricting gambling transactions through credit cards, a sign that the government itself recognizes how widespread the problem is becoming. And honestly, gambling today is almost impossible to avoid. Advertisements are everywhere: football matches, billboards, live streams, and social media feeds. It's constant. And after major streaming platforms like Netflix reduced operations in Russia, gambling advertisements began filling even more primetime media space. So while legal gambling remains regulated on paper, the bigger issue is everything happening outside of regulation. As we mentioned earlier, many of these gambling platforms are technically banned inside of Russia. So the obvious question becomes, how are they still operating? The answer is offshore infrastructure. These companies move operations into grey financial zones, island jurisdictions, and loosely regulated regions. They rely heavily on cryptocurrency, shell structures, and hidden ownership. In many cases, nobody truly knows who is behind these platforms, but these companies understand that fact even better. They don't need to physically operate inside the country to reach its citizens. They use Russian-speaking influencers, streamers, Telegram channels, and online personalities to directly advertise gambling platforms to local audiences, including younger viewers, while bypassing Russian law entirely. And this is happening during a period of growing financial pressure. As we discussed in our previous video, gambling companies tend to thrive in places experiencing economic hardship because people stop gambling for entertainment and start gambling out of desperation. They begin chasing the idea of escape, and with the financial instability surrounding the war in Ukraine and the wider region, that desperation creates a demand. That demand eventually creates supply, because after a certain point, real sports are no longer enough. You need more matches, more betting markets, more outcomes, and more reasons for people to stay on the platform. This is where betting farms come in. Entire operations designed to manufacture non-stop sports content, not for supporters, not for athletes, but for gamblers. On platforms like 1xBet, thousands of matches are streamed every single day. We're talking about nearly 1,200 short football matches in just 24 hours. That's close to 500,000 matches a year. And that's only football. Inside these setups, players reportedly earn around $30 a day. Most play 6 to 7 matches per shift, usually between 9 a.m. and 2 p.m. And many don't last longer than a week because it isn't really sports anymore, it's labor. The players often look exhausted, disconnected, and almost robotic because they're not there to compete, they're there to produce betting content. The venues themselves make that painfully obvious. Most look like small indoor gyms, school halls, or local sports centers, fixed cameras, wide angles, harsh lighting. These streams often resemble CCTV footage more than professional sports broadcasts, and sometimes you'll even notice the same players appearing for different teams throughout the day. One match they're representing Spain, a few hours later they're suddenly playing for Argentina, and the games themselves aren't always legitimate. Some former participants have claimed that players were instructed not to exceed a certain amount of goals. In other cases, there are allegations that outcomes were effectively premeditated before matches even begin. There are even reports that players undergo lie detector tests before matches to prevent independent match fixing between the players. But according to multiple investigations, the real control doesn't sit with the athletes, it sits with the system itself. And the system is built not around competition, but around volume. Fast games, quick results, constant betting cycles. The faster the matches finish, the faster users place another bet. And once you're inside that ecosystem, you're no longer just betting on football. That's the trap. These short matches are specifically designed to keep users constantly engaged. Games only last a few minutes. Odds refresh instantly, and before you even process your last win or loss, another match is already starting. It creates an endless loop of quick payouts and constant chasing. And the longer users stay on the platform, the more they are pushed towards the real profit centers: slots, casino games, and live dealers. That's where gambling companies make their biggest margins. The sports are essentially bait, and football isn't the only thing being mass-produced inside these betting farm systems. There's table basketball, short-form tennis, low-level volleyball, table tennis, amateur cricket leagues, and other hyper-fast games running almost 24 hours a day. Some of these matches take place in tiny indoor courts with barely any audience at all. The entire system feels less like organized sport and more like a factory manufacturing endless gambling content. And none of this appeared overnight. Back in 2019, investigations linked 1xBet to multiple controversies, including betting markets involving children's sports and explicit live casino content featuring topless dealers. There were even reports connecting the platform to cockfighting related betting. After those investigations, several countries moved to ban the platform, but banning didn't really stop it, because companies like 1xBet operate through an enormous network of mirror sites and alternative domains, constantly redirecting users back into the same ecosystem. Different names, same structure, like 1xBet, which appears in sponsorship deals involving a Pakistani cricket team. The company has also faced bans in countries like Morocco, and yet despite all of this, 1xBet has still maintained high-profile sponsorships with clubs like Barcelona and Paris Saint-Germain. Investigations have also shown offshore betting platforms including 1xBet and 22bet using streams from FIFA Plus to offer live betting and low-level matches across Africa, the Caribbean, and parts of Asia. In some cases, football federations reportedly didn't even know their matches were being used for gambling markets, and that's the part that matters the most here. This system already operates globally, and vulnerable markets are becoming the next major audience, especially regions where unemployment is high, regulation is weak, and gambling increasingly starts being sold as financial opportunity instead of entertainment. There are even reports suggesting that South Asian players were trafficked into Russia to participate in some of these low-level cricket leagues. And importantly, not every operation is directly controlled by 1xBet itself. Many are third-party production companies responsible for organizing, filming, and licensing these matches to gambling platforms. In other words, an entire underground industry now exists purely to feed betting websites with content. So, when you step back and look at the bigger picture, this isn't just about illegal gambling anymore. It's about the industrialization of betting, a system capable of manufacturing endless sports content purely to keep the people gambling, where players become disposable, matches become product, and the line between real competition and controlled entertainment slowly disappears. Because if companies can create thousands of games a day, control the environment, and keep users trapped in endless betting cycles, then maybe the question isn't whether this is real sport. Maybe the real question is, was it ever supposed to be? This is the Need to Know channel, and thank you.